And welcome everyone to the 5th China International Import Expo. I'm Michael Wang from CGTN's Global Business, and this is...
Olivia from Global Business.
Hey, we're really happy you guys can join us here at the 5th CIIE, and here at CGTN, we have been covering every single sector that's being represented at the mega trade event. We've seen consumer goods. You've done a live stream already.
I did yesterday.
In consumer goods. We've done healthcare, intelligent machines, and manufacturing as well. So many sectors.
There are more coming, actually.
Yeah, the more coming as well. We're going to show you Shanghai, but today we are at a very special pavilion as well.
Trading services.
Trade in services. So here's the thing. This is an expo, of course, dedicated to trade in goods, imports, but we often forget services. That's also quite an important part of China's domestic economy, and it's rapidly increasing in the pace of development as well. So there's a large floor area for the world's top service providers here. So we have, for example, real estate companies, financial services companies as well. Consulting companies.
Tourism companies.
Exactly.
A lot of various themes here.
That they are here presenting their best-in-class solutions to the Chinese market because, for example, goods. How do you get the good from the place of origin to the final destination to the consumer, right? You need services. You need logistics. You need financial services. Yeah.
That helps to meet new people, new partners, and new consumers.
Yeah. So quite a big area. We are in Exhibition Hall 8.2 here at the CIIE, and we're going to try and give you a tour of the companies on display and talk about what kind of services they are providing to China's service sector. Yeah, this year. So how about we make our way to our first booth. Our first booth is Cushman & Wakefield Greater China. So let's see what Cushman is bringing to the table at this year's CIIE. And we've got...
Hello, Jamie.
Hi there. Good to see you as well. Yeah, great looking booth. This is Jamie Shepard, everyone. He heads up Business Development Services at Cushman & Wakefield of Greater China. Jamie, thank you again for joining us on the program. Oh, Olivia is going to hand you our mic, but how about this, Olivia? Let's get Jamie first and maybe introduce the booth a little bit and choose a place maybe where we can sit.
I think perhaps we can sit over here.
Yeah, okay. The lighting over there I think is pretty good.
So obviously we've got our main stage area here.
Yeah.
We've had many events over the last couple of days and many more to come.
Yeah.
Today we launched a report which was 6 alternative assets classes in China, what to watch in China.
Yeah.
A lot of investors very interested in investing in alternatives at the moment, so we're helping them with that across China. We also launched our 23 for 23 campaign. Obviously the reference to 2023 for next year, but actually 23 offices. We recently opened our Dongguan office, so we've now expanded across China to have 23 offices.
Okay, let's try and get this backdrop in. So how about we move over here? Jamie, so the main messages that Cushman & Wakefield are sending at this year's CIIE, you mentioned potentially alternative assets might be one.
Yeah.
And the CIIE, of course, is always a great place to launch thought leadership and products, right?
Absolutely, and I think you can see on the screen just now, sustainability. That is one of the key messages.
Yeah.
I think not just for Cushman & Wakefield, but I think for CIIE overall.
Yeah.
It's a very, very important situation at the current time to make sure that our clients really understand sustainability, both for the developers who are hoping to benefit in terms of being able to secure higher rental levels from having high quality buildings that are green building accredited. They might see maybe 10% more in terms of rental, but also for the occupiers. You know, it's really important for the occupiers as they look to secure high quality talent and make sure that they have strong staff retention. Having buildings that meet environmental standards, clean building, clean air, etc., is very attractive to employees.
Yeah. And Jamie, are you seeing then this mindset shift, I guess, for companies here in China, domestic companies, multinationals that do business here in China? Are they really demanding ESG buildings?
Absolutely. I think increasingly so. I mean, in China we've actually been quite advanced in terms of looking at green buildings and developing high quality buildings for many years now. But the occupiers, you're right, have taken a bit longer to really catch on. But now, of course, many of them have to meet targets for their listing requirements or for their global boards. So when they come to find premises in China, they must make sure that they have those buildings with strong ESG credentials. And we help not just find them those buildings, but actually help retrofit many buildings to make sure that they can meet those standards.
Yeah.
So we talk more about your green finance development plan.
Obviously when it comes to green finance, it's very important. It's very a challenging situation for people to get, or developers to get used to how to qualify for green financing. So our team, as you can see, Green Financing and ESG Investment Advisory Services provides all the services from start to finish to help the developers to make sure that they can qualify for green financing.
How about we get a shot of this screen then? 来，摄像老师，我们站这儿。And then we'll continue our conversation here because this is a great looking booth. How about you take the stage, Jamie? How about we take the stage because this is where the product launches are, right? So I'm interested in the product reports that you've launched here at Cushman & Wakefield in terms of giving us a little bit more detail in terms of what thought leadership you're bringing at this year's CIIE. What are the reports about?
So we've got a whole host of different thought leadership coming out. I mean, from topics such as the Greater Bay Area, which is obviously very important to us and our clients at the current time. Local market reports. We're talking about things like cold storage, logistics, which is quite a hot topic at the current time. Residential accommodation. We're talking about obviously ESG, alternative asset categories, a whole host of different topics, and we're launching something along the lines of 2 or 3 reports a day at the current time. So we're very busy.
But Jimmy, you were telling me this is the first time that Cushman & Wakefield is at the Import Expo, right?
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, in fact, we have been coming to the Expo for many years. So we always have delegates coming to CIIE. It's, of course, an extremely important event for us and our clients. But this is the first year that we've had a booth. And wow, what a success it's been. We've had so many positive comments from the industry, even some of our competitors coming to say what a great booth. And it's really functioned well. It's helped us meet with people. It's helped us present new reports. We've been live streaming from here. It's been really a fantastic experience. And I'd like to say a huge thank you to the organizers of CIIE for doing such a fantastic job.
And Jamie, for our audience who are abroad and domestically who may not know, what is the significance of the China market for Cushman & Wakefield?
Well, the China market's always been very important to Cushman & Wakefield, or Daida Lianghang, as you may know in Chinese. You know, we came here very, very early on. Our business has been here for many years. We're very localized, and that's been a very important key factor for us. So, as I said, we've just expanded to 23 offices with that 23 for 23 campaign, and we're going to see more growth. We're expecting to see very strong growth. Our clients are already very excited about the future. We're geared up to support them, and hopefully we'll see even more expansion. So maybe it'll be 24 for 24.
24 for 24, yeah. So, final question for you, Jamie. Your outlook, perhaps, for China's commercial real estate market, where do we stand?
Well, look, clearly it's been a very challenging time for everybody, you know, not just in China, but worldwide. We've seen a lot of challenges. In fact, I think the global economy just now is really seeing some major headwinds. But, you know, I'm quite positive at the current time. I feel that we've been through the worst of it here in China. We've obviously seen some challenges with lockdowns, etc. But we do feel that we're starting to be able to deal with that. We're figuring out how the business will operate, and hopefully the future's a lot brighter. We should see some fairly stable growth over the next couple of years, and actually in many ways stability is what we need right now. We don't need volatility, and I think that we're well positioned in China to see good, strong stability going forward. So the office market, you know, we've seen lower levels of absorption recently, but as people start to get used to dealing with the COVID restrictions, etc., we're going to start seeing people coming back into that office environment. And actually the workplace strategy, which we're talking a lot about at this event, is going to be really, really important to make sure that our employees or our clients' employees are very, very comfortable to come into the office. We shouldn't be forcing people to come into an office environment. We should be creating a fantastic office environment to make sure that they're comfortable, the staff want to come in.
I mean, that's a great point, because when you talk about sustainability, the layout of the office and the building, I think, is very important, right? So I'm thinking, for example, if the design is great, you've got a lot of green plants in the office as well, potentially happier workers, more productive workers.
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah. So we've definitely seen a lot of that. We're trying to create more with our clients, when we're working with our clients to help them with their office environments. We're really trying to make sure they've got lots of collaborative space to make sure that people can come in and they've got areas for short-term meetings or areas for longer, more detailed meetings where they need to present, casual areas, areas for socializing with colleagues. All of this is extremely important to the new generation that's coming into the workforce these days.
That sounds fantastic.
Fantastic. Okay, great. Jamie, thank you so much for sharing your insights with us.
Thank you very much.
Jamie Shepard, Head of Business Development Services at Cushman & Wakefield, Greater China. So how about we make our way this way, Olivia, and then our audience can get a fuller view of the Cushman booth. Thanks again, Jamie. We'll see you around. Have a great rest of the expo. All right, so we're going to make our way this way. As you can hear, it's buzzing here in the Services Pavilion at the CIIE. And I have to mention, as China's economy continues to grow, continues to develop and modernize, services, of course, is going to be very important, right? Because you have to link up services with everything. I mean, domestic consumption and services, they are closely interrelated and tied together. When you talk about the tertiary industry, manufacturing, you have to have advanced services to support manufacturing. When you talk about the primary industry, agriculture, China will prioritize agriculture modernization going forward. And a lot of people that live in China's countryside, they are also in the tertiary industry these days, the services sector, when you have, for example, bed and breakfasts, homestay, e-commerce, live streaming, agricultural products. Yeah. Have you bought something from China's countryside?
No.
Have you tried it yet?
Yeah, I tried it, but didn't really buy anything, I have to be honest.
Because you can see, for example, on TikTok or Douyin, you have these people who live in the countryside, and they have a really unique and good product to sell. And via live stream, how do they get it to another destination or to the final consumer elsewhere?
Buy in city center.
Exactly.
Only buying the countryside.
Exactly.
That's actually the point of live streaming, isn't it?
Yeah. So direct from farmer to table, I guess.
Yes.
And in between, you need services, right? So how about we check out the neighbor, I guess, of Cushman & Wakefield? I see Marriott International. So how about we make our way this way to Marriott, of course, global hotel giant. And we have here Jessica. Jessica, how are you?
Hello.
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you.
Guest.
Thank you, and welcome to the booth of Marriott International at CIIE.
Great to be here. Jessica, shall we sit somewhere or do you want to stand?
Sure,
Would you
please.
just want to walk us through the highlights of your experience here?
Yeah, maybe we
Yeah.
can have a warm-up the booth. So first of all, you can see here, I mean, most of you may know Marriott International as a global travel company. You know, under Marriott International, we have award-winning travel program Marathon Void, and we also have 30 unique brands under Marriott International.
Right.
Yeah, and you know,
Loads of
yes, you know, these 30 brands are totally different and unique. You know, the purpose to have these different brands is aiming to better cater to different consumers' needs in the market.
So
And
Jessica, how many of these 30 brands are in the China market right now?
so currently in China, we already debuted 23 hotel brands in China market.
Gotcha.
And soon we will quickly introduce another brand which called AC Hotels into China market.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's going to be a new brand here in the China market. This brand is already outside of China, right? But it's going to be introduced in the China market when, you said?
It will be introduced into China market in the early of 2023.
So that will be next year.
Yes.
We launched it.
Yeah, it's definitely a very unique brand to us. You know, we say that at AC Hotels, every moment is refined and cultivated for the guests. We want to, we want to offer seamless experiences for the consumers. For example, at AC Hotels, we do have some signature experiences. At AC Hotel, we have our signature AC lounge. And there, consumers can enjoy the tapas and also signature cocktail and have a rest. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because AC is actually having from Spain.
Oh,
so
okay.
that's why at AC Lounge we will also offer consumers a taste of Spain as
A
well.
taste of Spain, okay.
Yeah.
I have to put in a plug for Spanish food here at the Expo because they're quite popular, I feel, here.
Yes,
but that's a
indeed.
different pavilion, the Food and Agriculture Pavilion.
Yeah.
Visit in a few days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, can you introduce some highlights of the new brand in advance?
Yeah, sure. And as I said, there are some unique rituals of the brand, right? For example, guests could also enjoy, they will present it signature lavender turn-down amenity, right? So the purpose is wish the guests to could have a good sleep when they stay at
Good
AC.
sleep.
Yes, and you can see here, this is
Very my bag,
yeah,
aren't they?
this is the lavender turn-down gate.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
take
okay.
one. That's
So I know
fine.
lavender is actually good, really good for sleeping, right?
Yes.
Oh, it smells really good,
So
guys.
actually,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So the
you didn't know
fragrance of the
that.
lavender can help you, I don't know what, so it
Back to sleep.
relaxes
Yeah, it is.
your
That's
sleep.
how it
Okay.
works.
Yeah.
See, I mean,
smells like
that's a unique
lavender.
point because for somebody who may not know that,
Yeah.
I think to have this fragrance bag, I guess, in the hotel room of the guest, right?
Yes.
This will be in every single hotel room of the AC hotels.
As a turn-down amenity.
Okay, so it
Yeah.
relaxes your
Like
mood,
really-
maybe.
Yeah, helps customers
Yeah.
relax more.
Oh,
And
okay.
that smells really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take it back to your home.
Oh, really? Can I open it?
Yes, of course.
Let's see what's inside. Oh, so there's actually lavender inside.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
It's
It's
really
very,
pretty.
very fragrant. I always wish we have something called smell-o-vision,
Yeah.
right? Because when we're at the expo, we live stream at the food pavilion as well, and the smell of the cooking at the expo. I wish our audience can smell that as well. So I wanted them to smell lavender also. But is AC Hotels going to be in China's major cities, or are you looking at some of the medium-sized cities as well?
Yeah, the first AC hotel will debut in Suzhou.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
For our overseas audience, if you haven't visited Suzhou and you want to get
That
a
is
unique taste
paradise.
of the traditional scenery
Yeah.
of southern China, Suzhou is a great
That's
Venice
a
of the
must-go
East,
place.
right? We can
Yeah.
call it the Venice of the East. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, so just come and visit us at AC Hotels in the early of next year.
Okay. And how many AC hotels do you see Marriott potentially opening in the China market? I mean, what's the potential here?
So for now, in addition to AC Suzhou, we already signed another 2 AC hotels in different cities in China. So more to come. Stay tuned for us.
Okay, so she's not going to disclose which those 2 cities are, which is totally understandable, but we're going to find out, I
I'm
guess,
actually
sooner or later.
wondering why the first tier cities are not the main target for AC hotels.
In China, we have very robust development plan in the market. We call it as brand plus destination. Always have the right brand in the right destination. In China market, we currently operating more than 460 hotels, spanning 100 and 200 cities in China.
Yeah.
It's quite a strong portfolio in the market, right? The purpose to have different brands here is we want to cater different consumer needs. Maybe someone want to have a classic experience, someone want to really have push the experience, really push the boundaries, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we have that the brand strategy, so that we can cater different needs.
Okay, Jessica, how about we come over here because we want to get a wider shot of our exhibitors and their booths and their uniqueness. I mean, I love the coffee cups up here as well. I mean, I think that's quite unique.
What is that for?
What does that symbolize? Is there a special design theme for that?
Yes, it does. Actually, Marriott International, it starts from a nice dense ginger root beer bar.
Wow, I didn't know that about Marriott.
Me
Yes.
either.
Okay.
So that's brings us back and recall the the legacy
Yeah.
and the company culture back to 95 years ago.
95 years ago. Okay,
Yes.
going back to its
100 years ago.
roots,
Yes.
right? Jessica, how important do you think is the China market for Marriott?
As I said, we really have quite a strong portfolio in China, right? And in addition to that, we actually have more hotels in the pipeline.
Yeah.
Meaning going to open again, in the future, right? So definitely China is an important market for us to grow, and we really have a long-term growth plan in the market. And what we are doing now is we really want to leverage the strengths of our portfolio and our brand to cater the different consumers' needs through the empowering experiences.
And the China market, this is, you were telling us earlier, the second largest market? I
Yes.
forgot. The second largest market outside of the United
Yes.
States or North America in general?
US.
Outside of the US. Okay, fantastic stuff. Final question for you, Jessica. How many times has Marriott come to the Import Expo?
Yeah, this is the fifth time for Marriott International to participate in the CIIE.
Fifth time already, so
Yeah.
every
Any
single year.
special feelings for this year?
As I said, we are happy to bring
AC
the
hotels.
new brand,
Yeah.
the new brand, and showcase the products and experiences to the consumers. And we really are welcoming the consumers can visit us when the hotel is open in Seoul.
Okay. One final question. I'm going to put you on the
Actually,
spot.
I have one more. Okay, you go first.
Final.
You go first.
I guess two final questions.
Okay.
Because I just thought about this. Obviously, right now the world is still dealing with the pandemic. What is your outlook? What is Marriott's outlook for China's hotel and leisure and travel industry?
That is my question too. So that's the final question.
That is the final question.
Yes.
I think, currently we are just focusing on the operational excellence, right? And we see that there's a trend that when the restriction is eased, the leisure business will come back first, meaning the Chinese consumers is willing to travel when they are able to, right? So what we can do is, leveraging our products, our unique experiences to better cater the consumer needs in the market.
And Olivia, I mean, China's high-speed rail system, right? This is the longest high-speed rail system in the entire world. And we can now get from Beijing to Shanghai. The fastest train is about 4.5 hours. So having that infrastructure in place, I think, is so crucial. That's the foundation for China's services, travel, and leisure industry, because it's so easy, quick and easy to get to destination to destination.
It's so much more convenient.
Yeah, yeah, and there's so many high-speed rail lines, and still China is building even more. That foundation is there to make sure a weekend getaway, right? Just hop on the high-speed rail, hop on a plane, and then get to your destination. Yeah. Great, Jessica, we've kept you too long. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we hope Marriott enjoys the rest of the time here at the Expo.
Thank you.
Great, thank you, Jessica, and maybe we'll see you again at the 6th CIIE.
Okay.
Great, have a great time,
Bye.
Jessica.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Watch your step, Olivia. Okay.
Well, I'm quite surprised. It's their fifth year to attend the CIIE, and actually, it's just my first year to start.
Yeah,
Yeah. How many times have you attended CIIE?
as many times as Marriott.
Fifth time.
Yeah, so you're like
Okay.
Cushman and Wakefield. This is your first time.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are your impressions so far about the CIIE?
I mean, it is fresh and it's open. It
Yeah.
just gives off a really inspiring vibe.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like I've seen so many old friends. I mean, although it's my first time, but I think we've been cooperated with so many brands, enterprises here,
Yeah.
so I'm
Yeah.
really familiar with them. And also, so many new faces have emerged.
Yeah.
I mean, among the Chinese or like foreign exhibitors.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's your feeling? What's your impression this year?
so-
Any different feelings?
I have one consistent feeling.
Okay.
Every single time I come to the China International Import Expo, and that is the dynamism and the potential of China's consumer market. Because the Chinese population and families are getting more prosperous,
Yeah.
living standards are being raised. We've seen a doubling of per capita GDP, of per capita disposable annual incomes, and a doubling of economic output in the past 10 years. So people are getting more prosperous. They are demanding higher quality products and services, this consumption upgrade story that we're talking about here in China, right?
Yeah.
So coming to a place like this, you can see the confidence and the commitment of businesses large and small from all around the world, countries large and small, coming to this expo to leverage the China market, right? Because it's massive, absolutely massive.
I've heard from many enterprises, they
Yeah.
said CIIE is really just the best platform for the first debut, like
exactly,
forever debut.
A lot of products,
yes.
a lot of innovative services being debuted at the CIIE because this is a launch platform as well. And one number that I always love to refer to, 400 million plus. I say this on the show every single time. That is the number that we have in terms of the middle income group here in China. And the thing that's exciting about this middle income group is it's still swelling.
Yes.
It's growing even larger, and this group is becoming even more prosperous. Their purchasing power is rising as well.
Yeah.
And we have a program, a strategic initiative here in China called Rural Revitalization. Hundreds of millions of people still living in China's countryside. And then when you have this group of people also seeing their standards of living rising as well, that's a whole new group of people that can provide lots of opportunities for businesses around the world, right? And that's why I think the Food and Agriculture Pavilion is so popular every single year here at the Import
Expo.
Expo.
Like the Trading Services Exhibition has also provided a really great opportunity for like global enterprises to deepen cooperation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You meet your clients here. You meet, for example, government officials here as well. It's just connecting with people. It's a great place to just come, have a chat, make new friends as well. Yeah. But
actually, we made some new friends as well.
I made a lot of friends, Olivia. I always make a lot of friends.
A new friend who's called Olivia as well.
Yeah.
So let's welcome Olivia, I guess.
So Olivia, how about you introduce where we are heading to next?
Okay, now we are heading to Seville. Hello, Olivia. Hi. I'm Olivia. This is another Olivia. Hello. Okay. What about you start introducing us some of the highlights of the expo this year?
Sure. This is the third consecutive year for Savills to participate CIIE. And this year, actually, our theme is the Savills 360-degree the urban sustainable operation solution. So we have a lot of new white papers and solutions and a lot of big agreement and contract to be signed in this grand platform.
Yeah.
And we know actually Savills is one of the like leading industry in real estate, like the sector. So do you have any different, technology or like green finance sector as well?
Sure.
In this expo?
Yeah, actually this year and our key highlights of the CRE will launch the sustainability and the proper tech. This big two very hot topic. So actually we also have the head of our China asset property management, Marco. Maybe I think he can explain more.
Yeah, how about we speak with Marco? Yeah. Okay, Olivia, after you.
Thank you for being a gentleman. Hello, Marco.
Hello.
Marco, nice to meet you.
That's
Michael from CGTN, our
Michael
colleague.
and Marco.
Michael and Marco. That might be a tongue twister.
Wow.
Marco, how about we have a seat? And then we can talk about sort of the main messages that Savills is sending at this year's CIIE. Whoops, the mascot fell. Do you have a name for the mascot?
Actually, we have a campaign about ESG within this idol.
Yeah.
He's our little mascot.
Yeah. So so there are ESG concepts in here as well.
Sure. We have a donation to the charity.
Yeah.
Especially to those kids who need help.
Oh, I see. Wow. That's really good. That's really good.
So Marco, actually when I just came in, I realized the whole exhibition looks really green. Is that a message you kind of want to express this at the expo?
Sure. I think sustainability actually becomes the most hardest topic for everyone, especially I think in China for the carbon peak and the carbon neutrality national strategy. So everyone will focus on that. But for an international consulting firm, real estate consulting firm for us, actually we are also providing a lot of services to those international clients, especially for institutional investors. What they are focusing on is on the financial part of ESG. So if you are a company, you have very good performance of your business, okay, but at the same time you have to focus on environment, on social, and also on governance.
Yeah.
So this is another aspect I think a lot of clients right now is focusing on.
Yeah, sustainable development has been a necessary trend for many businesses. And what's your take on this?
I think for the China companies, especially we find a lot of listed companies, both in Asia and also the Hong Kong market. They're focusing more on the non-financial factors, the performance of their non-financial factors. And I think this is a new trend for companies in China. And also, just as I mentioned, under the big strategy of national 30 and 60, so most of the enterprise in China, especially for real estate companies, they are putting more efforts on how to improve their environmental factors. So this is a very new trend. Yeah.
Can I just add, this theme of sustainability, I think, courses through the entire Import Expo.
Sure.
We've seen sustainability taking quite a high priority as an agenda item at successive CIIEs, and it's not just about services in terms of food and agriculture, of course, obviously as well, consumer goods. All the pavilions that we've been to, the companies that we've spoken to, they tie sustainability and green development into their product or services, and it's quite interesting because when I think about real estate consulting or when I think about commercial real estate, I don't think about sustainability first. It doesn't pop into my mind first. But this is a major topic of a discussion, I think, for you guys as well and for all companies here represented, for most enterprises. If you can give us a sense, a scale perhaps of the opportunities available for companies in your industry based on China's 2030, we're going to peak carbon emissions, 2060, reach carbon neutral. How big of an opportunity is that for your company and for your industry, you think?
Okay, let's give everybody a bigger picture.
Exactly.
So for the whole carbon emission, we take like 20% is around like the traffic, along transportations. Another 40% is about industrial. It's like power plants, everything. But in the cities, at least 40% is for construction and real estate related. So you can see in the cities, those buildings actually, there are huge consumption of energy. So that's why we have to put a lot of new efforts on it. But before that, then transportation, I mean, for the carbonists, you see a lot of electronic cars. They already started the transformation. But for cars, what we know is like they only have like 20,000 components for each of the cars. But for the buildings, you have like 200,000 for different buildings. So it's a more complicated process to transform. But we see it will definitely be a new trend how we do that. Especially, just as I mentioned, you have to focus on ESG because ESG is a benchmark to evaluate those performance of the listed companies and also private firms and the private equities. So all of the monies, they have to go green. And they will have a premium on that, which enjoys a really low interest rate. So this company have a low cost for operation. So this is basically the whole picture on that.
And do you think it's necessary to implement the ESG sustainable development into the real estate market?
Sure. Yeah, just as I mentioned, all these real estate companies, they need a lot of funds, especially for construction part and as well as the operation part. What they do, actually, in China, we're promoting REITs, and especially for sustainable REITs, which means all this money goes through green properties. Which will enjoy a different policy. Especially for the banks and also like financial institutions. So these investors, they want the money to be green.
But can it be cost effective when you have buildings that transition into greener buildings? Or for buildings that want to, because there are old buildings, right? This is a massive country. And when you renovate this building to an ESG building, will occupiers be okay with that? I mean, can it be cost effective right now as we make this green transition?
Very interesting topic. I think what you are talking about is urban renumeration. So in the cities, we have find a lot of like old buildings. And they need to transfer to a more, zero carbon or zero emission like properties. But the process needs a lot of money. So what they can do is they look into it in a longer, lifespan. It's like 30 years, 40 years, and you do the economy. When you do the renovations, you use greener like materials, more sustainable materials, and also use new technology to calculate all these energy consumptions. And then in a longer process, you get a return from it. And also you will enjoy a premium for your finance. So everything will be related, but in a longer perspective.
So it pays to be green. You got to get started.
I have another question coming up. So during the pandemic, how will PropTech help with like the safety or efficiency of the building management?
I think especially for the last 3 years, everybody I think in the world is experiencing a huge impact which brought by the pandemic, especially COVID, and everyone was trying to adjust or adapt to a new way of living. So technology plays a huge part. Just as you can see in Shanghai, like each of the buildings, you will see a lot of new, equipments, and they will help you to get a temperature, identifications, and also the travel, routes. So they will identify, which is help a lot for the comparing to the traditional ones. They will very cost effective on their part.
And what do you think are the prominent trends of the prop tech industry?
I think it will moving to from a very basic one, just as I mentioned, all these implementations are basic, but moving to a more sophisticated way, which is AI related. Because as we said, it's about all these buildings. If you think about the comparison or analogy about the electronic cars, you will see the huge difference between a traditional car to a smart car, which is they have a chip. They have a brain, an electronic brain. So help them to calculate all these different parameters and turn it into a more efficient and more quick responsive way to help those machines to react faster.
Marco, another big picture question, because China talks about coordinated development. So we're going to have better coordination between the urban and rural areas, right? We have something called rural revitalization, which is going to be more development, faster development, higher quality development in China's massive countryside. And I was wondering what better coordinated development between the urban centers and the rural areas could mean for your industry.
Okay, quite interesting. I think especially for China, we have so much, proportion. The biggest proportion of the land are from rural. And I give an example in UK. Actually, in UK, right now, a huge investment is pouring into the forestation and also for the rural area. One of the things people can find, there's new opportunities in rural areas, which is you can do like travel, tourism, and also you can do a lot of new ways to attract new economy. So this is one of the things. The other thing is also about sustainability. So there's a way to offsetting the carbon if you buying the forestation or the forest. So this is a new trend in Europe, and people like buying rural lands and do new investment for rural areas, so they get offsetting their carbon emission. So that's a quite interesting thing we can find.
We're actually seeing some of these business models and development concepts in China's rural areas as well. For example, I just visited a bamboo forest a few months ago, and essentially you can trade carbon credits. You better protect the bamboo forest. Companies that develop in rural areas can buy these credits. That also incentivizes farmers to better take care of the bamboo forest as well. So we're seeing this springing up in China's countryside also. So I think there's a lot of potential there as well.
Especially I think in Shanghai, because we find the first carbon trading exchange center will be in Shanghai. And right now, I think airline has been put into the category, and also for industrial, for power plants. The next step will be, real estate, and also the space-based vehicles. Everything will be put into that. So if that trading get running, there will be more new business models.
Okay. I mean, I can just think about I'm excited, Marco, about the potential here when it comes to sustainability, because we talk about urban-rural development, and then you have these mega metropolis clusters, right? Big urban centers as well, hub and spoke model maybe, when it comes to large cities and satellite smaller cities. And we have to become a carbon neutral society. So on the sustainability front, and you mentioned there's a lot of carbon emissions from buildings right now. So I see huge potential there.
Which amazes us actually is the new opportunities. Because I think every country in the world right now is experiencing the recession, which means there's no new access for new business and for new recruitment. But for the green industry, for the sustainability, definitely will be a whole new ecosystem. It will generate a lot of new job opportunities and also economic opportunities. So which means everyone was experiencing that, and this is the very topic. I think all the world have the same on the same page. So everybody was on the same page on this. Yeah. So it's quite exciting right now.
Fantastic
if we think
stuff.
about it.
Yeah. Olivia, do you have any more questions for Marco?
I'm afraid I don't.
You do, but I do that. Okay.
That's a lot of great info. I'm just being a good listener. I just learned a lot of things from you. Thank you so much.
This is what I love about our job, right? Because we speak to these, business leaders, thought leadership around the world. And in the process, we learn so much. Also,
it's called a communication.
Exactly. But Marco, I do have maybe one or two final questions for you. In terms of the significance of the China market for Savills, could you give us a sense of that and maybe your outlook of the CRE market here in China?
I think as one of the world-leading consulting firm on real estate, definitely we put a lot of focus on China market and also the Great China market, because actually the Great China market accounts for around 40% of our revenue.
Wow.
So which means we have to pay more attention on this.
So that means what? Greater China is the second largest market?
The second largest.
Okay.
In the world.
Okay.
So what we think is in China, especially in Asia, around China, so the Great China area, which is definitely a huge drive for our business.
Yeah.
At the same time, we find in China you have so many tenants. And you have so many diversified business opportunities. And actually in China we brought out all the business lines in China.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So each of the lines we generate a very good revenue on that.
Yeah.
As you just mentioned, Shanghai is a really open international city. Do you actually find more opportunities here? I mean, for your business opportunities, of course.
I think China is the most what we call international cities in China, and we get the biggest expat communities in China, and also we find there's so many international companies, and they have their headquarters here. So which means this is the gateway to the world. Yeah. So what we find is you have so many different experts from different industries. They coming together in Shanghai, and there's so many chance to exchange ideas with each other. Especially like CIIE. During the last 3 days, actually, we talked to different sectors. But it was so congested, but it was so effective. So this is the only place I think we can find so many chance to communicate and to exchange ideas.
Oh, Michael, I think by communicating, I have more questions coming up, so I have to go for another one in front of you.
Marco, we love putting you on the spot. I don't mind. Olivia, go for it.
As you just mentioned, CIIE. From your perspective, how has CIIE benefited the participating enterprises?
Yeah, because I think from CIIE, which is a quite national brand, but it's an international gateway. So what we find here is within a very little amount of time, you can demonstrate the capacity, your competence to the whole China. And also the other thing amazed me is we find so many government delegations. They focus a lot to help those companies doing their business in Shanghai or in China. So this is a very good way for the government to communicate. For these governors to communicate with these enterprises. And
it's a really good interaction.
It's a really good chance to interact with each other.
Learn from each other.
Learn from each other, interact from each other. And this is a very compacted, but it's a very effective vehicle.
I mean, at least my impression of the CIIE is every time I come here, you feel China is open for business.
For sure.
Right? China is open
really
for business.
Definitely.
Okay. Marco, we've taken up too much of your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thanks.
so much.
Appreciate it. And hope we can discuss more, topics like sustainability, urban revival, and also the city. We all want China to become actually the biggest and also the greatest country in the world.
And it's our hope too. Thank
So
you so
hopefully
much.
we can extend the conversation at the
Next
6th
Yeah,
CIIE with
yeah.
Marco. Thank you so much for your time,
Thank you.
Marco Meng, Head of Property and Asset
Look forward
Management
to
at
seeing you
Savills
next
China.
year. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much, Marco.
Thank
Have a
you.
great expo. Bye bye. Olivia, watch your step. 摄像老师
Thank
注意这个台阶啊。 Watch your step. I mean, there's so many companies here at the Service Expo. We can't get through all of them.
Yeah.
Oh, but don't forget, the CIIE is online as well. So
yeah.
we're only giving you a tidbit, right? A snapshot of what the CIIE has to offer.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
CGTN Global Business Online. Watch our live streaming.
But we should give a plug for CIIE Bureau as well, because we have a lot of online live streaming events also. I think there's only so much we can show our audience, but at these individual booths, whether it's the service sector, whether it's consumer products, food and agriculture, you've seen, right, live streaming
Yes.
in the booth. So you can access the CIIE anywhere from around the world, and actually the scale, I feel, is even bigger. So in addition to product launches, live streams of different brands, products and services online as well. So a lot this expo has to offer. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, 要不摄像老师您看一看这个. This is, I guess, Ernst & Young. Yeah, and you have right here, that's a live streaming booth. So that's the power of the CIIE platform. You come over here, you share your thought leadership, not just with the participants of the expo, but to the entire world via these live streaming events.
There is another event going on here as well.
That's a product launch right there, JLL, also a commercial real estate giant. Yeah.
That's a Chinese brand.
And a what?
Domestic brand.
JLL is a big international brand when it comes to commercial real estate.
sorry,
They're a huge
forget
CRE
about what
giant.
I just said.
But I want our audience maybe to get a sense of the scale of the expo.
Can we
要不
get
这
a
样
pen?，
摄像老师，要不我们360度转一圈
转一下，
让我们的观众看一看，这个是服务贸易的展区，Yeah.
So we have a 360-degree view of the whole expo here.
Yep.
It's super large.
Vale, Deloitte, KPMG, JLL, Ernst & Young. We were just speaking to Saddles China and also Cushman & Wakefield. Okay, let's try and find maybe another booth that we can talk to. 来，摄像老师，我们这边走。
Actually, we should ask our audience to vote which one they really want to see.
That's true. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think consumer products definitely would take the crown because there's so much to experience. Oh, food and agriculture maybe would take the crown. A lot of good samples. Yeah. Actually, intelligent machinery is also too. It's very hands-on. Services is a little less hands-on, obviously,
What
right?
about automobile? Have you visited?
Which booth?
Automobile one. Have you visited?
Oh yeah, the auto exhibition is fantastic because there are so many new concept cars there, race cars as well. I saw one car by General Motors, and what they did was they launched a premium lifestyle brand here in China called the Durant Guild, and they just discovered that they have a market for premium GM cars here in China. So consumers here in China can order these premium cars from outside of the country, and then they're shipped into the China. But they designed this lifestyle brand for the China market, and then it's going to go throughout the world as well. It's a super cool race car. Our CIIE, our colleague, did a report on that. So if you're interested in the concept, then check out his report.
Can we play that live stream or
Yeah, and that's a shout out to you as well, to CIIE, if you're watching. Anyway, where are we now, Olivia?
YTO International.
YTO International.
YTO is actually a really famous express delivery company.
Yeah.
But now they are launching the international series. Shall we talk to someone?
Yeah, let's have a look. So they do express freight logistics.
And there's a huge plane.
Yeah. So how about we go into the YTO International booth and see who we can speak to.
Hello.
你好. Welcome to our live stream. This is
Mr. Sun. Do you want to introduce yourself to our camera?
Hello everyone, I'm the CEO of YTO International.
Okay. So Mr. Sun is the CEO of International. Mr. Sun, do you want to sit down? Shall we sit down somewhere and we'll have a chat? Okay. Olivia, how about you sit here?
Okay.
And you can give the mic
It's like
to...
latest sit on the left.
I mean, it's a little bit difficult for you because this is your mic and then you also have to hold it for the guests. So anytime your arm might get tired, let me know and then I'll hold the mic for
Okay,
Mr.
thank
Sun
you
as
for
well.
being such a gentleman.
So, Mr. Sun, what are the main messages that you are presenting here at the 5th CIIE?
As you know, so many people know YTO very well,
Yeah.
but they just know YTO just is an express, domestic express company, but we are not. YTO International is a public company in Hong Kong stock market. We can provide express services, air freight, sea freight, freight forwarding, and supply chain services.
So I see.
That's why we want to be here to show everyone, for them to know YTO very well, international.
Yeah, as you mentioned, most people know YTO as a domestic express delivery company, but they may not know about the international things. So can you tell us more about it?
We have express field to do the international express, just like import and export. So we have more than 50 branches in 14 countries. Wow. And the employee over 1,000. So we have a global network. So we can do express, and our customer, they are in America, in Europe, in all the other countries. So we can provide their express services and freight forwarding. In last year, we transport more than 100 tons worldwide.
120 tons.
100,000 tons.
And I'm assuming those 120,000 tons fly on these beautiful airplanes, right? Yeah.
As you know, we are the sponsor of the
Hangzhou Games.
18th Asia Games. We are the nominated logistics provider.
Wow.
And how has YTO International distinguished from like other traditional international, let's say, logistics companies?
Well, there are so many logistics, global, local, due to the international logistics, but someone just dedicated on freight forwarding, someone just dedicated on express. But we have express, international express, dedicated for the e-commerce business, and we also have a freight forwarding team. As I mentioned, we have more than 50 branches in 14 countries, in Europe, in Eastern South Asia, in America. So we can provide the freight forwarding business. We also have supply chain logistics services using our network, our facility, but we also have air cargo company. We have 12 aircraft, the Boeing 757, 767. So we can. I think maybe this is different from the other logistics provider. As you know, just maybe like a UPS, DHL, FedEx can do this kind of business. So we are not only express company, we are integrated logistics provider.
Got
So
it.
you actually have the advantages in like airplanes, aircraft, or like freight supply chain.
It's a complete ecosystem, essentially.
Yeah.
Mr. Sun, what I want to ask you about is cross-border trade. Because here at the CIIE, it's an import expo. Chinese consumers, as they become more prosperous, they want high-quality products, they want high-quality services. So my experience is if you have a good product, if you have a good service, it doesn't matter if you're a small company, you're a large company, it doesn't matter if you're a company from a small country, a developing country, an advanced economy, it doesn't matter. Chinese consumers love good products and services, and they will definitely pay for that. And we see this boom in live streaming, in e-commerce here in China. And for example, with the ratification and the implementation of the world's largest free trade agreement, the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, RCEP, RCEP, my thinking is that should provide a lot of opportunities for cross-border e-commerce. We know Chinese consumers love to shop online. And I'm thinking, what is the potential for your company, your industry, and for the Chinese consumer as we see a potential boom in cross-border e-commerce? What's the opportunity there?
Oh, you know, CIIE is the largest stage for those foreign companies. So we dedicate to make some solution for them. To make they can save logistics costs and facilitate their efficiencies. I think we have this capability. You know, as I mentioned again, we have branches, we have networks, we have employees, we have high techniques to provide to make sure they can get good services. As you know, the higher logistic cost is a big problem for those dealers, and the price may be competitive. If the price will be competitive, the logistics cost is very important.
Yeah, it is.
So we have our own aircraft, we have our own trucks, we have our network, so we can save their costs. But if they save their logistics costs, maybe their price will be competitive.
Yeah,
I think it's a good benefit for our Chinese consumer.
I think Mr. Sun raises a great point because the delivery service platforms here in China, obviously we know, highly advanced. And the delivery costs, I would say, are kept quite low for Chinese consumers. And that's why we see this boom in e-commerce and ordering online. And I feel like, you know, there are large companies here, there are small companies here. Yes, you have the multinationals showcasing their best products here, but why not, for example, a small company, for example, somewhere in the world, to sell to the massive China market? And if your company or an express company can help them lower their logistics costs, you're saying that can go a great deal, I'm assuming, in terms of accessing this large market.
You know, due to the pandemic, the supply chain is very vulnerable.
Yeah.
So the stable services is
so important.
Yeah, so important.
So important. Yeah.
So we have our own craft, we have our network, so we can make sure we can provide the stable services. I think if you need some emergency, we have solution to solve the problem. It's very important. Just for cold chain, for this like milk, chocolate, wine.
Oh,
the leading time is very important for them.
I think you raised up a great cold chain. I think there's a lot of growth potential there.
Yeah.
Because if you can get cold chain taken care of in the China market, reaching all across the country, that would be a big boost for farmers all over the world, right? Small farmers, large farmers around the world selling their premium, high-quality agricultural products to the China market. Because I would say the cold chain logistics here in China, I think the big cities are well served, but if I remember correctly, maybe smaller cities are less well served. So I guess if cold chain logistics can be advanced further in this country, that would be a big opportunity too. And you're saying YTO International has that capability also, right? Developing that capability.
Yes, we have cold chain trucking company in China.
Yeah.
So we use our plane to fly back to China and use our cold chain network to make the quality is better.
Yeah. I was just speaking to a New Zealand beef vendor the other day. They ship their beef from New Zealand to Shanghai, but because of cold chain, maybe they can't get it to certain parts of the country. So cold chain, I think, huge potential here in China.
So we believe our target, our prospect is with YTO, the water is within your reach.
Fantastic. And on that note, Mr. Sun, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
We've taken too much of your time, I feel, but great insights. Thank you.
Welcome again.
Mr. Sun,
We look forward to seeing you
CEO.
at the 6th CIIE.
of YTO International. Great.
We will be back.
You will be back for the 6th CIIE.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much,
Have
Mr.
you signed up
Sun.
already?
Sorry?
Have you signed up for the 6th CIIE already?
No.
Okay.
We will do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. Thank you so much, Mr. Sun.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so I think we're all out of time, Olivia.
Nice.
We're a little bit over time as well, so we're going to leave you here. I mean, the potential of China's services sector, I think, is absolutely massive. Right now, the services sector accounts for about 54% of China's total economic output. And when we compare that with advanced economies, they're around 3/4, 75% in terms of total economic output for their service sector economies. So as China continues to develop, that's where the potential is, right? Because services now account for about 54% of the economy, and once China continues to develop, maybe it'll get to 60, 70, 75% as well, and that's the potential right there.
We'll look forward to the broader
Yeah.
picture in the future.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys, for watching. That's all we have for you today.
But we're going to continue walking around the service
Yeah,
building,
we
right?
are.
So much to see, so much to experience. Thanks again, everyone, for joining us. Michael Wang and Olivia He from CGTN's Global Business Program.
Just stay tuned with
Yeah.
us for more.
Stay tuned. We're going to give you even more highlights of the 5th CIIE in our coverage. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again
Bye.
soon. Bye-bye.